Okay, so part two is to add a score onto your game. So firstly, just like in Scratch, you're going to make a variable. So it says variables there, you do initialize, that means to start. So where it says name, you're going to put score. So it just means when your game, just start this score to, or set it to 0. So you go to math, so that first bit is done. So when the game loads, the score is set to 0. Okay, what you're then going to need to do is, if you go to variables, you're going to set. So if you now go to variables in that set, you've now got a little drop down and it will say score. Ignore the bit where it says global. We don't need to worry about that. It will, just as long as it says score there, okay, or whatever you've called it. And all you're going to do is go to math and you drag this one here where it says plus, because what you're going to do is connect that to there. You go back to math and you're going to put a 1 in and you drag that one to there. Okay, you go back to variables and you've got get. You drag that down, drop down, it will say score again and you drag that there. So what you're saying is get whatever the score is at the moment, you get it and you add 1 to it. And you're going to put that inside that block there. So when the ball or the moonwalk collides with the wall, you're going to get the score and you're going to add 1 to it. You can now right click on that and duplicate it and then drag it into that one. Okay, that would now keep a score, but you actually have to put the score into something. You have to show it. So that's where this text box 1. So I'm going to rename text box 1 to score and click OK. Go back to blocks. So what you're going to do is score. Okay, so this is text box. So what you're going to join. So you're going to join. If I do update set score text. Okay, so you're going to put the word score and then add on to it whatever the actual score is. So if I click on set score text, should then have. Okay, in text, join. Okay, so I'm going to go to text and join and snap that onto there. And then I should be able to click on text again. So I'm going to put score, something like score equals, and then underneath that, I need whatever the score is at the moment. So I should be able to then drag that into there and do global score. So whenever the ball collides, no, I could drag that into there, okay, but what I'm going to do is something a little bit, okay, so that would actually work. You could drag that into there, duplicate it, and drag it into there, and actually that should work, okay, so that's one way of doing it. There is a slightly cleaner way of doing this, okay, so I'm going to drag that out there and get rid of that one, click OK. So this is the more advanced way of doing it, and it's the way, if you do this now at the moment, then as you get to more complicated programs, it starts to make more sense. I'm going to go to procedures. I'm going to make a new procedure. Procedure is like a mini program on its own. So I'm going to call this one update score. Okay, so this time I'm now going to drag that inside there. So I've got that one bit of code, rather than duplicate it there, and if you've got 100 walls, you'd have to duplicate it. Okay, so I'm going to drag that just in there. Then all I need to do is click back onto that. It says call. Okay, update score. So I can drag that and drag that in there. That basically means go to this little block, run this little block in purple called update score. So then what you've got is a slightly cleaner bit of code. So that should then be a breakout game. It will keep score. So it will say score in there, and actually even in that text box, it says hint for text box. I'm just going to put score in there. Okay, so when it first loads, it just has those words. So that in under 5 minutes, okay, that is the second part of your breakout game done.